everybody, my name is Mel, and together with my husband Adine, we make up Hustlin' Hooks. We are business owners and resellers. I'm back solo this week to go over another 15 sales that we've had recently. I did miss last week, I apologize. We were in the process of finding a car, which takes a lot of time. You have to find it and then test drive it. It's a whole hassle. We're done with it, thankfully. We have a new car now, so we can both get around town. And now I have time to do this video where I break down 15 sales. At the end, I'll go over approximately what those 15 sales net us. If you're interested in these type of videos and you want to see what's selling for us continually, consider subscribing to our channel and also giving this video a thumbs up. Let's get into the sales. So there's no particular order to these. These are just 15 sales that I picked out to give you an idea of what we sell on a daily basis or semi-regular basis, and a couple that are unique pieces and just generally what's selling now. For reference, we do run a higher volume model, which means we do sell lower brands that other people might not pick up. But I try to go over ones where if you saw it at your local thrift store or a garage sale, it would be worth it for you to pick up. So this first one is new with tags, which I believe is the main reason it's sold. And this is exactly our normal sale price range, $25. The brand is Nicole Miller, which isn't necessarily anything crazy. We're about a week out from Christmas yet, so new with tags is still selling very well for us. When I see a lot of new with tag stuff coming in the November, early December range, I tend to put those at the beginning of my listed list so that we can get those sales before Christmas. So this next one is a Hollister shirt. What's different about it is that it's a pearl snap Hollister. So $13, nothing crazy, but this only sat for, I don't even know if it was 24 hours before this sold. So $13 on Poshmark, they're gonna pay full shipping on that. And the pearl snap Western style button-ups for men are just sought after. Obviously, there are brands that do better and are more well-known and more bedazzled. This one's just kind of a basic Western shirt. If you follow along with us on Instagram or some other previous videos, then these Doc Martens are gonna look really familiar. We have sold a lot of these in the last few weeks. Doc Martens, regardless of condition or style, are just really solid sellers. If you can get them for $10 or less, you're golden. And of course, some styles do really well, so you can definitely pay up for some of those, like their boots, their Mary Janes do really well. Their vintage styles are just generally a little bit stronger in terms of market price. This was a solid sale. This was a $45 sale. Nothing crazy. This isn't one of the most popular styles even. So they're gonna pay shipping on that. Now this one wasn't a vintage one. So if it had been vintage in this condition, it probably would have sold even higher. The next one I did was also a Doc Martens, but I put this one in here because as you can see, it only sold for $30. Now the reason for that, that last picture there, you can see there was some very significant wear. Even though these are vintage and wear is expected on vintage Doc Martens, the whole heel fabric there was just destroyed basically. So I was perfectly happy for a $30 sale on those because you have to recognize a beat up shoe, someone might wear it like that, or they're gonna put in some work and make it so it's comfortable to wear. And I wanted to put those side by side just so you can see that the variation between styles, vintage, new, and it's all just very dependent on a lot of factors, like so many things. But that's about the lowest Doc Marten sale that we've had. All right, this next sale is a Lilly Pulitzer, and I included this because a lot of people will say, you know, Lilly Pulitzer, great brand, and they're right. It is a really great brand, but their styles with the really bright tropical prints, bright colors, those are gonna sell a lot better than a piece like this. So this Lilly Pulitzer specifically, as you can see, it's on our gray carpet background, and we introduced that, oh, I wanna say March, April, May-ish, and that was like our first background on our home-built photo booths. So this is an older listing, and we actually took it down and then relisted it. After we took it down and relisted it, it sold within a day, but $16. So we lowered the price pretty significantly on that. And it's just because it's a basic blue Pima cotton. If this had been like the wild print, like I mentioned, this probably would have been upwards of like $25, $30. But I wanted to include that to show you that in volume, a $16 sale is perfectly fine because it's just turning product. That's the name of our game. And also to point out that, you know, I probably wouldn't pay a thrift store price for this type of Lilly Pulitzer. So that's just something to be mindful of. You know, brand doesn't always carry you through to a high price. Okay, last video I included a football piece of clothing, so I thought I'd continue the theme. This is Chicago Bears, real basic, like, you know, sweatshirt, full zip, cool hits on it. Just the type of season that it is the reason it sold for $31. It's not really special, and I'm sorry if you're a Bears fan, but you're nothing special this year either. So it's just a good season. It might be a gift. It might be a diehard fan, you know. I get it. I live in Michigan. I Lions, so anyway, happy to see that one go. These are Adriano Goldschmied jeans. Men's Adriano Goldschmied smell. I hope not. If they do, we wouldn't sell them. But these ones we sold, and men's sell well. They sell better than the women's. Of course, you know, I'll always have this disclaimers that certain styles are going to sell better than others, but generally speaking, if I'm stereotyping these jeans, then the men's tend to sell higher and faster for us, for this brand specifically. So these are the Graduate, you know, tailored leg. It says right in there. I love when jean companies put the actual style in right inside, so I can just check comps on those. Very solid sale, $38. They pay shipping. So this dress is unique. It's a Smartwool, and Smartwool is just very solid. You generally cannot go wrong with that brand. We'll also pop up a picture of the logo of this brand for you, because if you see it, I can't think of a style that doesn't sell well. It's usually more of an outdoor camping, hiking, outdoor activity, layering piece, that type of thing. This was unique. I included it because it's a dress. I had never seen a Smartwool dress before, so wasn't really sure, considering that I usually think of them as shirts and things like that, what it would sell for. But we took an offer on that of $33, so very pleased with that. I think that's very high, considering it's probably not one of their most desirable styles. Okay, this next one, I just saw a commercial for them recently, and I know I'm saying this name wrong now, but I'm also not really sure if I can say it correctly. So, yeah, Saint Laurent. It was almost more of a sound, like, yeah, Saint Laurent. Anyway, you can see it there. We'll show you the description with it in the title. It's a luxury brand, YSL. I do believe that that is French. And it sold for $29, which for a men's blazer, that's a good price. But I think sometimes when people see luxury brands, they get really, really excited, but it's all very style specific. So I think it's a solid sale, but generally they don't resale for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which is what they would retail for, or even more. Abercrombie & Fitch, still going strong with their brand. These are kind of a 90s style. They're a mom jean, so which means generally a higher waist. They also have that like double button, double waistband there. That was a little bit more popular back in the day. Maybe it's coming back now. Everything's coming back now. So $33, very solid. This is another brand that I'm not really sure if I'm saying correctly. I think it's Marmot, but it could be Marmot or Marmot. Regardless of how you say it, I have seen us list mostly vests in this brand. So I can't speak to how everything else sells, but when I see it, they generally command like a mid to upper mid price. So this you can see sold for $29, and it's nothing spectacular. It's got like a thick puffer to it though, which is always a very popular style, very classic style in winter cold months. That was also, as you can see, taken on that gray background, but that was one that we also just relisted, and it sold quickly after the relist. All right, so these are basic Nikes. There's nothing special about these. They're not crazy. They're just your everyday standard, nothing special about them. 2014 Nikes. And I put these on here because for 20 bucks, that's a good mid sale. Very happy with 20 bucks if they're gonna pay shipping for it. It's probably not something I'm gonna pay $8 for at a thrift store plus tax, but I included it because there's still a good amount of meat even on the basic Nikes. If you can pick them up at like a garage sale for like $3 or $4 or something like that. If you just had a store full of just Nikes, basic to high end, you would do fine. Okay, so this brand it always makes me think of when I went to this store and there was a vintage flannel in this brand that I wanted because it was the first time I had found it, but because somebody before me had ripped off the sticker, they wouldn't sell it to me. It's in a video, I think, probably like a year ago now, but I was very hot about it. I was not happy. I never got that shirt. This is the second time I've seen this shirt. It came from a supplier. This is not the flannel one. This is just a regular, I think it's cotton button down. You have 100% cotton. Vintage CC Filson. That is a brand to remember. CC Filson. CC Filson. It just commands a very high resale price. This one, really, there's nothing special about it other than the brand name, and it sold for $40 on an offer. I would take that all day, but you can't find them very often, which is why I wanted that one. I could have sold that one for like 100, maybe. Guess we'll never know. Anyway, let's move on before I get really worked up again. So this is a great brand too. It's an outdoor brand, Kuhl. These are women's very basic, nothing, like not even cargo pants. As a hiker myself, I prefer cargo pants, but these look very comfortable, stretchy waist. That's always a good seller. We took an offer of $21. So again, very basic. If they were more of like their hiking style, probably would have held out for a little bit more, but you know, quick sales are the name of the game when you're flipping volume. And the last one that I have are these Laredo boots. Basic black. These are women's Western boots. No fancy designs or anything, just kind of like an everyday Western boot, I suppose. And they're a smaller size though, which can affect the price because 6.5, you know, it's small. There's the average shoe size for women, like a good size would be like 7 to 9. You're gonna sell mostly those. So we took an offer of 30. Very happy with that. This brand, you know, for men's or even a larger size would be a little bit higher. Definitely a good brand to watch out for. Very good reputation in the Western boot world. So I'm gonna go ahead and run the numbers for all of these. They're all on Poshmark, so it's gonna be a 20% fee. And I'm going to be right back with those. So I have my numbers. Let's go ahead and talk about them. So for those 15 pieces I just went over, that gross sale number was $433. Now, Poshmark takes a 20% fees, just flat. So that was $86.60 in the platform fees, which left me with $346.40. That's the amount that Poshmark will pay out, but still have to account for the cost of goods. I used an average of $4 a piece, which was $60, which left us with $286.40. Now, assuming none of those sold on offers we sent, which it might, but just for safety's sake, let's say they were all offers sent to us, then there wouldn't be any shipping, and this is what your net would be. So if you only sold those 15 in a week, you know, for a pretty part-time gig, that's not too bad. That is it for this installment. Again, if this is something you want to see again, make sure to subscribe if you're not already. I will come back next week. I'll cover another 15 sales. Let me know if that's a good number. I feel like 10 can sometimes go by really quick. 15 would be like, you know, 2 items a day you're selling if you were just doing clothes. So that's my 15 for this week. I will see you all again next week. I'll do 15 more. Until then, take care.